everybody, welcome back to another episode of Squirrel Tales. So we've talked about calls, we've talked about tips. Now we're going to talk about something a little bit different: handguns. Some people, like this guy here, just hunt squirrels with handguns. So joined again, got Squirrely Mike over here. Introduce David Robinson to my left, fellow squirrel hunter and YouTuber. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to his page in the description. So when you get done liking this one, go ahead and click the description or the link in the description. It'll take you to his. Watch some of his videos too. David, you said that you hunt everything with a handgun now.
Pretty much. Deer, coyotes, squirrels, coons.
So the coyote thing is, I want to get to that on maybe a different video. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you are after a handgun, when you want a handgun hunt, what is something that you're looking for in a handgun? So whoever's watching this, say they've never handgun hunted before, what are they looking for picking out a handgun?
Good set of sights. If you're going to use, stock sights, you want something that's like this is just a plain old black. If you're going to shoot open sights, you'd probably prefer a red fiber optic sight, maybe even the back here, the one that's got like a couple of white dots or fiber, colored dots on each side. Let's see. Well, you want to, if you can handle it, because sometimes you get, grips will get thick. People got smaller hands. You don't want to get a real thick grip. Stay away from cheap crap. I mean, I try to go with major brands, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Kimber. Got a little Taurus here, which the Taurus are kind of, used to be kind of notorious for being bad, but they've gotten better. I really like this. This little striker fired 22 comes with the red dot mount already built into it. Got a compensator on the end of it. It's really accurate. It's got a pretty good take up on the trigger. There's not a lot of trigger travel on it. It's like I said, it's striker fired. There's no hammer, and most of your striker fired pistols got pretty bad triggers. See how much take up it's got in it.
Yeah.
Most of them do, but once it's there, it's pretty light.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for, like I've got a pair of striker fired 45s.
Yeah.
And they have a pretty long trigger pull.
Yeah.
Once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But like any gun, once you get something that's comfortable for you, weight-wise and grip-wise, you need to train, you need to practice. Now, rimfire rifles that we're mostly accustomed to, they can be notoriously picky. We buy tons of different ammo, shoot them all, and find out which one each gun likes. Now, do you find that rings true in the handgun world as well?
For me, I go with, like for pistols, I'm shooting Aguila interceptors, and they're supposed to be rated at 1,400 feet per second. I like something faster because you've got a shorter barrel, and that way you get a little bit more velocity out of them. But with these red dots, see, I got red dots on everything. You can pretty much tailor the gun to the ammo. Okay. As long as it's good ammo and it'll shoot consistent, I mean, you can once you got the red dot zeroed in, you put CCI in it and it's not going to shoot in the same spot,
Right. I mean, every manufacturer,
like
even, when you get deep into it, even different lots.
Yes.
Can be.
A lot of people will get into the different lots and stuff. I don't worry about it. I mean,
if you're going to precision shoot and make money in that kind of world, maybe. But for what we're doing,
competition and stuff,
right.
Yeah. For hunting, you don't get that particular about it. But I like Aguila. Velocitors, CCI velocitors are really good for short-barreled revolvers and rimfire because they're faster. Really, that's
So you got a couple automatics here,
Yep.
And you're shooting the higher velocity ones,
Yep.
which I have always been told that in a 22 rimfire, 22 long rifle, you want to shoot a higher velocity. Once you're shooting at 1,400 feet per second, have you found like a magic number that you don't want to drop below? Maybe 11, 12, or anything like that?
1,200 feet per second is about as low as I'll go, and that's because, in particular, on the semi-autos, it won't work, won't cycle the action. Yeah, and I've even tried subsonics in revolvers, and they do all right, but 20 yards is about as far as you're going to get any accuracy out of them with subsonic ammo. Well, I shoot subsonic in my rifles, but you got a lot more velocity.
You've got a minimum of 10 inches, 10 more inches of barrel.
Yeah.
Assuming you've got a 6-inch barrel. I mean, this one here is a 6-inch barrel.
Yep.
So
myself, I like 4-inch revolvers. And this one's 4, this one's 5. I think this is a 5. I believe this is a 6 in the Ruger. But I like shorter barreled revolvers. I don't know why. It's just personal preference.
Yeah, and a lot of that is weight, balance,
yeah.
All that is taken into account, comfort. How far, now naturally, not everybody is equal in shooting, and some people practice more than others, but what would you say is a good distance that you would feel comfortable shooting at a squirrel with these?
45, 50 yards.
Okay.
I've shot them out to I've shot them out to 60 with it, but you're just kind of lobbing them in there,
Yeah.
But to get a good clean kill, 40 yards is the most I like to shoot. I sight them in at 25, and my kind of litmus test, whatever you want to call it, is after I've got them sighted in at 25, if I can hit a golf ball at 40 yards, then I'm good to go. I'm happy with it.
Good.
Because that's squirrel size,
Yeah.
golf ball. Yeah.
A squirrel's head's just under 2 inches. We talked about that. Now, these all have red dots. Naturally, this one is mine. It does not have a red dot. It's not even capable, but this is a lot older than some of these fancy ones. Not running a red dot, just running open sights. Same rules apply.
Yeah, but 40 yards is pushing it with open sights, probably. I mean, some guys can do it. I can't. Not with open sights. Matter of fact, I'm doing good at 25 to hit open sights because I can't see real well, which is why I use the red dots, because you don't have to focus on the sights and the target.
Right.
I could shoot these with both eyes open, still put the red dot on the target, and still see the squirrel, moving out of the other eye and stuff. That makes it a lot easier for me. But I have to wear my glasses because if I don't, the red dot will starburst. Instead of seeing a good clean circle, I'll get a flare.
Get that fuzzy.
Yeah. But once you get them sighted in, I was telling him I sighted in, try to get it as center as possible at sight in. And once you got it sighted in, as long as that dot is on your target, it can be about anywhere in that window and it's still going to hit your target. Just the way they're, just the way they turn out. The way
and the technology has really come a long ways. Over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Mike, don't want to leave you out here. Have you done much handgun hunting?
No, sir.
No? I have not either. I have done, for the past few years, I've tried to kill a deer with my 454. I haven't done it yet, but Missouri has that alternative method season that I like to take my handgun in. Really, for this one, I carry it more on the trap line than anything else.
dispatch your trapped animals.
Yeah, yeah. I know
So,
people that do it different ways. I know a guy that, in fact, the guy that taught me how to trap um, carried a hammer and he would just go up and club them, and I'm like, that's a bit much.
yeah, especially if
So,
you got a coyote or something like that, or a mad raccoon.
well, yeah, it was mostly we were doing beaver and raccoon mostly. Um, however, I have killed a squirrel with this. Kind of funny. I was telling Mike before we got started, the one I shot. I was watching some squirrels over here. Of course, I'm a right-handed shooter, so I had my rifle. But I had this log, this fallen tree had come down, and this squirrel was across of, and it was maybe 4 or 5 yards away. And I have that cross draw holster, and I just pulled it out and waited for it to come down, and it stopped and looked at me. It was the weirdest thing. I had my rifle like this, and I just shot that, and then I waited about 10 or 15 minutes, and the squirrel that was over there in that tree just stopped caring and came down, and I shot it too. So, but I haven't gone out with the intention of, okay, I'm going to kill one
Yeah.
with just this pistol. Since I've been talking to you, I've been thinking about it. I've been looking at some handguns. So all the tips you're giving, I'm kind of putting in the back of my head.
Something like this that has no rear sight. I mean, that groove is your rear sight, basically. And I mean, you could probably pull it off with a lot of practice, but yeah.
But honestly, like I said, I haven't shot anything farther than that squirrel at 4 or 5 yards was as far as I've ever shot a live creature. I've taken it to the shooting range and practiced a lot. Now this is an older model, quite a bit older model revolver, so it doesn't have any of the adjustables. If I was gonna do this now, I would definitely go with something that's got the adjustable sights. Put the fiber optic or something like that.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next question that I want to cover. Some guns, like Ruger 10/22s, AR-15s, they're platform rifles or platform pistols, because you can do either. So you basically just buy the action and then build it however you want it. Is there a handgun, specifically rimfire, that you can actually do that with, that you can really tailor and customize to yourself?
Well, the only thing that's like on something like this Kimber, it come with adjustable rear sights and stuff, just like this, just like on the back of here. But I sent it off and had the slide milled so that I could just mount the red dot directly to the slide. That way it's not sticking up so far off with the adapter. They make an adapter that actually it goes into the dovetail slot. And it gets you.
Then you can set.
To be setting up that high, But like on 1911s, you can have the slide milled. Really, other than that, there's not a whole lot you can do to them. Maybe an ambidextrous safety. The safety's on the right side on this one, but you can get them where they're on both sides. And it's not that big a deal to actually, you could turn this one into an ambidextrous if you wanted to, just right there. You just have to buy the different thing. But really, there's not a whole lot of customizing you could do to them. I mean, honestly, not that I've ever done anyway. They're pretty much all these are stock except for the sights, except for the red dots.
Yeah, and even I was looking at was it the Ruger Mark IVs, the 2245? There's a lot of customizable things for like grips and triggers, but really not a whole lot of other stuff.
Now I've got a Smith & Wesson Victory, little 22 semi-auto. Hell, you can get carbon fiber barrels for it, and what they call a race trigger. Other than your factory trigger, I forget who makes them. But you can buy triggers for them. They make what they call it, the thing that attaches to your, well, on this, it would be on your slide. Instead of having to do this, it's just a loop, and you just pull it, to cock the gun.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
But that stuff's not, they don't have that for every single model. Those are just a couple models
there's
specifically, right?
Rugers, like your 10/22, or not your 10/22s, your
.245s.
Yeah, and your Mach 4s and stuff like that. But like on a revolver, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. I've got this on here to cover up the Hillary hole, as they call it. You know, it's because it's got a hole underneath there that actually you can lock it out so as a safety. I think it's ugly, so I got these. Some old boy sells them online for about $25. I've got them on all my um, double action revolvers. You know, double action, I don't know if people know anything about revolvers, but double action, you can take the cylinder out, you know, like that. Single action
has the load gate.
Had the load gate. You got to load the gate, you know, or open the gate to load it, to spin the, you know, the cylinder to load them. I prefer double actions myself. Actually, this is the only single action 22 that I own. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of customizing you can do to them. I mean, you can switch barrels out in them. You know, I'm sure they make custom barrels for something like this or this, but you don't see a lot of it, you know.
Well, you know, like I said, the handgun world is not something that I'm into much, and I know you're not into it.
No.
Very much. We're more rifle and shotgun guys. We're about to be crossbow and slingshot guys. we're kind of getting into some. We've talked about some of that. That's a whole other video. So y'all watching this, you know, if you're into the handgun thing and you know about some customizations and some of the other stuff that we're talking about, you know, go ahead and leave that in the comments section. You know, I'd love to hear what you have to say. How long you been hunting solely with handguns?
At least 5 or 6 years, something like that.
Okay.
I just did it basically because I could take a 22 rifle and go out in the woods and kill all the squirrels I want in about 45 minutes and be done, you know, and there's no fun in that, really. I mean, it's not that it's not fun.
I mean,
it's just
as a person that went out this morning and saw 3 and couldn't get any of them to stop, I'd like to shoot 10 in 45 minutes. That to me would be fun.
Yes.
I just did it more of a challenge, as a challenge than anything else, because you gotta get in closer to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like this morning, I was basically right under them, you know, and sneak in there and get as close to them as you can, because, like I said, I don't like to, 25 yards is a long shot for me, you know. I mean, I just think keep them about 20 yards, 25 at the most. Like I said, I can shoot them out further than that, but you get a little gray squirrel 30 yards out there, you're shooting at a marble, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, you challenge to get in there closer to them.
I guess we can next time we can trade out the golf balls for marbles.
There you go. Yeah, see how that goes.
We do that. Well, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for coming out and hunting and sitting on this episode.
Yep.
Everybody that's watching, thank you for watching. We always appreciate it. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Go ahead and like it and the little bell so that you get notified when we get a new video. We've got tell everybody, tell your like I always say, your brothers, uncles, mothers, cousins, roommate, and their dog too. Get them all to subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.
Like bushy tail down, son. Or squirrely mites. That's what it ought to be.